Hey friends, today I'm going to be creating the first layout in my book journal for 2025. I have really been slacking on doing anything in this journal, but I wanted to get started, and maybe by getting started I'll be more inspired to do more layouts in the book. So my first book is going to be Fourth Wing, and I absolutely love this book. If you have not already read this book, I strongly encourage you to read it. Absolutely love this book. I am now on the third book, Onyx Storm, so I'll be doing a book page for Fourth Wing and a book page for Iron Flame. I know that I will butcher the dragon's names. I apologize, but I have such a hard time pronouncing things anyway that I know that I'll do a horrible job pronouncing. But let's get into it. So what I've already done is I drew a Tarnin dragon, and I think I might want to add him down where his wings maybe come up, or maybe even add him here and then do some journaling under the wings. Have not decided yet. I've got my vintage photo and my black soot distress oxide, a scrap of white paper that will be distressing, and I also have a bunch of Fourth Wing stickers. Now, I'm not going to journal about the book with you because I don't want to give any spoilers. This is just decorating the page to be able to journal on. So, let me grab a clip. And now I need to decide where I want to put him. All right, I think what I want to do is add some kind of torn pages on either side here and kind of distress this. So I think I'm going to move this aside. Well, let's see. Let's tear this first. So I'm thinking something like that. And then maybe a little bit larger of a piece on this side, like so. So we're going to start with that, and I've got this scrap of paper that got misprinted, and we're going to use that as to distress. I did not have any like coffee dyed paper or any like paper that looked distressed and weathered and aged. So I'm going to turn these strips into that using the vintage photo and the black soot. So what I'm going to do is just start inking my edges first, because I want to turn this paper into something that looks like maybe it was coffee dyed or tea dyed, or it's very aged and weathered paper. And you can always add more if you would like. And then I'm going to take and also add the ink in the inside here of my paper and give it that weathered look. And you can see how it went from this stark white to this more aged look. So let's do this one. And I'm trying to like not leave the dots like this. I'm trying to like work this where it doesn't leave the shape of my brush on it, but unfortunately it does do that sometimes. All right, so I think that's good. And then I'm going to go back in with my black. And I'm going to add a little bit of the black on the edges to kind of give it like a burnt look in a couple places. You could always do this yourself. If you wanted to burn your paper, of course you could. But I'm just going to do it in a couple places. All right, I think that looks good. So let's start with that. And we're going to add these down to my journal. So let me grab my ad tech and start decorating. I'm so excited to do this. I absolutely love the Fourth Wing series. So really excited to have this be my first layout in my book journal. So my pages here are rounded. So I will trim this, but I'm going to butt this right up to the edge here. And didn't quite get right on the edge, so I will add a little bit of this here to make it look like it's blended in. If you wanted to have a little wiggle room, I'd suggest using a wet glue. But this is just mine. It doesn't have to be perfect. And then I'm going to go in with the black and add that black in a couple places. And then we are going to trim the curve here. There we go. And we're going to repeat it in this upper corner. And now I can start decorating. So I do know I want to, really would like to add Tarn in here and then have his wings. But I just feel like that's not going to work. So maybe I will add him down on the page here and do most of my journaling over here. So let's do that. Yeah, because I like him over here. So let's move this up to the top. And I'm just going to, I think for now, I'm just going to glue the center here. In case I want to make those wings interactive. So I just added my adhesive right down the center. And then we will add him here. I'm going to grab my bone folder because I want to make sure that he is down good. Clean up any of the extra glue. And then I have his wings that are loose, and I could write underneath them or just leave it like that. Okay, so this is turning out really cool. And I want to do Fourth Wing, and I have this sticker that I could use for the title of the book and maybe add that over here. or we could add it down here in the corner. And then maybe this sticker, dragon without its rider is a tragedy, a rider without their dragon is dead. And maybe we'll add that one maybe over here. And then I want to do some fun and maybe add a couple like journaling spots besides this. So I think I've chosen the stickers I want. So I also pulled out these two like coin envelopes because I was thinking it would be neat to use one of these as a pocket and then add in the pocket like some of my favorite quotes from this book. So I have this larger one. I would trim the top off here instead of adding it on this side. And then that way I can journal on this side as well. Add a sticker. It's pretty large, so that limits my journaling, or have the smaller one, which I could add in this corner, and that gives me some more room. I think I'm going to go with the smaller one. So I think I'm going to go with the smaller one, and then I'm going to leave the rest of the page blank, so I'm going to wait on using this. So let's add this guy down, and I am going to just leave this open, and then we will add a little piece of paper to add some quotes. So let's glue our pocket down. And I'm going to glue that down here at the bottom. And then we're going to add our fourth wing sticker. Kind of overlapping that. And I could add a little bit of dimension on this. Let's see if I can get a little bit on here. And maybe just a tiny bit of the black. I should have done that before I laid it down, but this is sort of an afterthought. I got a little bit on the page there, but that's okay. So I think I'm just going to add this sticker down right here and not add any other elements. And that way I have plenty of room to decorate this with journaling or any kind of other like quote stickers or anything that I might want to add to this off camera. So for my first layout, I think this was super easy besides the drawing. Love how this turned out. And once I get it all journaled, I'll come on and share with you how I decorate it more. It'll just be, if you don't want any spoilers, don't watch after this point. All right, guys, a few days later, and I finally got this finished. So I did a bunch of different journaling. I wrote on here the author pages, favorite characters, the dragon types, and kind of did some different journaling. And I also added some of my favorite quotes on this ripped piece of paper and the most heartbreaking quote as well. And then I kind of let the favorite quotes part stick up here. So this is my journaling for Fourth Wing. And then because I was at it, I went ahead and did my journaling for Iron Flame. So spoiler, if you've read Fourth Wing but not Iron Flame, then skip to the end. So for Iron Flame, I did like black and red. That was just what spoke to me, so I did black, red, and white. I wanted to add a little orange in here, but I didn't have any orange cardstock that was like close at hand. So I just did some like wonky tearing, added some more of my stickers, did the page numbers and rating here, favorite characters, a bunch of favorite quotes, heartbreaking quote, and then a little bit of journaling on it. And then I'll have an area on the next page for Onyx Storm. And then I will probably leave a couple extra pages open. That way I can have all of the Fourth Wing series together. And then I'll skip and then I'll do my other books that I have read this year. So thank you guys for stopping by for my first book journaling decorating. Sorry I've been a little MIA. Life has been super crazy. Just got back from vacation, dealing with a lot of issues. My car broke down, so just life. But I'm getting back into the swing of things and going to try to get back into planning as well. So there should be a planning video out, and I've got my haul from Planny Thing and Cocoa Daisy coming out as well. So thanks guys. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I will talk to you guys soon. Bye.